Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. In this lecture, we shall learn how to program 8051 timers. You need to download this 8051 calculator software. With use of this software, our job of programming 8051 timers is simplified. We select what we have to do with timers and it calculates register settings. You can Google this software and download it for free. Let's start from programming timer 0. We shall use timer 0 for generating 10 kHz scare wave at some I/O pin. Scare waves have 50% duty cycle. That means pulse stays high and low for equal duration. Time period of the scare wave will be 0.1 millisecond. That means pulse will stay high or low for 0.05 millisecond. So we have to configure timer 0 for generating 0.05 millisecond delay. Let's see how to program that. We can find timer register settings using 8051 calculator software. Any programming mode may be selected for this task. I have selected mode 2 because that is more simple to program. Select scare wave, write 10 in required value field and select kilohertz frequency unit. Now press calculate button. Interesting. Timer register is calculated for generating 10 kHz scare wave. Now we can copy these registers. SCON register is used for serial communication. You can ignore it for now. I'll explain it later on. For using timer 0, we have to replace X with 0. If you like to use timer 1, then you can replace X with 1. As I have mentioned before, TR0 bit of TCON register is used to start or stop timer 0. We studied T-mode register in previous lecture. As we have to use timer 0 in mode 2, we can simply make lower 2 bits 1, 0. Let's write this value in T-mode register. Now let's write function for generating scare wave. We can name this function as scare wave. I am adding while one loop in this function, so 8051 will keep generating scare wave all the time. Later when we shall use interrupts, then there will be no such blocking code. 8051 will stay here as long as timer 0 flag bit is clear. As soon as timer 0 flag bit becomes high, processor will execute next instruction. And this flag bit will become high only when timer reaches maximum count. Now let's clear this flag bit. Now we can write 1 to some I/O pin. I am writing 1 to bit 7 of port 3. Now again wait for timer 0 overflow flag. Once overflow flag becomes high, we can clear it and then we can clear port 3 bit 7. That is all. Function for generating scare wave is ready. Now let's call scare wave function in main program. Now let's compile and test this code. Program compiled. Now we can test it in Proteus. We can use Proteus counter timer instrument for measuring signal frequency. Let's connect this counter timer with pin 7 of port 3. You can double click on this counter for selecting frequency in operating mode. Now let's start simulation. Amazing! We have successfully generated 10 kHz frequency signal using timer 0 mode 2. We can also monitor waveform of this signal using oscilloscope. Perfect. You can see waveform of scare wave with almost 50% duty cycle. Try this example yourself before we start next lecture. Stay tuned.